Hello everyone, and now let's quickly check out round 9 between Paul Morphy and Loewenthal. And if you watched the previous game against Paul Morphy and Loewenthal, Morphy lost the match for the second time. And he is here for the revenge. And Morphy needs to win. Otherwise, Loewenthal is going to get closer to Paul Morphy. So Paul Morphy is 5 and the health points, and Loewenthal is only 2 and the health points. For making this more comfortable, Paul Morphy needs to win. And it's going to be like walking in the park for Paul Morphy. So this time, Paul Morphy is playing with the white pieces. This game was played in August 1 in 1858, London. This is game 9. The series of matches continues. Paul Morphy, who has the white pieces, starts the game with playing e4, e6, d4, d5. The French defense. E takes on d5, e takes on d5. Knight to f3, knight to f6, bishop to d3, bishop to d6, and both players castled. Paul Morphy played knight to c3, developing the knight, c6, bishop to g5, pinning the knight, h6, bishop to h4, bishop to g4, h3, bishop takes knight, queen takes on f3, knight from b to d7, bishop to f5, queen to c7, rook from a to e1, rook from a to e8, rook to e3, bishop to f4, attacking the rook, going to the south, and defending the rook. Rook takes rook, knight takes on e2, attacking the bishop. So Loewenthal played bishop to d6. And in this position, Paul Morphy captured the knight with the light square bishop. So of course knight takes on d7, knight to g3, rook to e8, controlling the open file, knight to f5 by Paul Morphy, knight to f8, bishop to g3, exchanging the bishops, and Paul Morphy captured with the f-pawn, not with the queen or with the knight, and opening the file dangerously, rook to e4, infiltrating on the 4th rank with the rook, c3, knight to h7, h4, h5, c4. So if pawn takes pawn, queen takes the rook. And in this position, Loewenthal needs to develop his knight. The knight on h7 is looking very pathetic and doing nothing. So Johann Loewenthal played knight to f6, activating the knight, and it's white to move. And Paul Morphy played a killer move. Can you guess the next move of Paul Morphy? If I give you 3 seconds, can you guess the very simple move? Well, Paul Morphy captured on g7 with the knight. What a beautiful move by Paul Morphy. And this move was very obvious. So we have knight to g4. If king takes on g7, queen takes knight. And black is losing very badly. So knight to g4, and Paul Morphy captures one more pawn. Rook takes on d4. And Loewenthal is trying to compensate the pawn losses. And materially, Paul Morphy is a pawn up, and Paul Morphy is not defending the pawn or capturing the pawn. Well, he played knight to f6, that's check, attacking the knight, forking the king and the knight. So knight takes on f6, queen takes on f6, attacking the rook with the queen. Rook takes on c4, and everything is equal now. Or is it? Well, in terms of position, nothing is equal. White has the attacking opportunities. So Paul Morphy played the deadliest move possible. He played rook to f5, threatening to play rook to g5. So hoping to defend with the rook to g4 by Loewenthal, rook to e5. And now Paul Morphy is threatening to play rook to e8. And rook to e8 is a deadly move. So defending with the queen, queen to c8. But now Paul Morphy played rook to e7, attacking the pawn. Attacking on f7 and threatening to checkmate the king in 2 moves. So queen to f8, defending with the queen. But now Paul Morphy played queen to e5, and Paul Morphy is threatening to play rook to e8 and winning the queen and the game. So queen to g7, what else? Paul Morphy played rook to e8, that's check. King to h7. Paul Morphy played queen to h5, that's check. And after this move, Johann Loewenthal resigns. And Paul Morphy is 6.5 points, and Loewenthal is 2.5 points. And Paul Morphy is very close for the glory. Well, after queen to h5, the only defense is queen to h6, and then queen takes rook. And now in this position, white is threatening checkmate. So let's say queen to g6. Well, the computer engine is suggesting something like moving the queen. But I'm a simple man, so if queen takes on g6, I think this is good enough for white. So king takes on g6, rook to e7, b6, rook takes on h7, and it's all over for black. As you can see, one rook in this endgame should be enough for white, and enough for black to resign. So this is why, after queen to h5 by Paul Morphy, Johann Loewenthal resigned. And this is the last position of the game. Paul Morphy is leading with 4 extra points. And it's getting harder and harder for Loewenthal for making a comeback. It looks like that comeback is never going to happen. No, that's not going to happen against Paul Morphy. So this was game 9, and I see you guys next time in game 10 against Loewenthal and Morphy. So take care, and bye bye for now.